And so I have next on my list Senator Franzen.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, Dr. Johnson. You should be an attorney, or maybe you are in your other life. Thank you for making those arguments. And I remember vividly when we passed the medical cannabis law. Some of us were there, and and this was a bipartisan effort at that point. I remember Senator Brandon, who was talking that the bill did not go far enough. He was very intimately involved with the bill, and I understand he's still active on this issue, and I appreciate that because this shouldn't be a partisan issue when it deals with people's health, Minnesotans. I'm just going to cut right to the chase. I have 3 amendments, and I just want to bring up for discussion, and I've talked to Senator Hall. He's had visibility to them, and I'd like to get it moving in terms of getting a little bit of discussion of the things that this bill still falls short. And I'll start with the A2 amendment.
Senator Franzen offers the A2 amendment. Senator Franzen, we all have the amendment. If you could explain it, and then Senator Hall to the amendment.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The A2 should be the easiest one. It simply adds to the qualifying cannabis medical conditions, the conditions that have already been approved by the Department of Health, by the Commissioner, and that are currently considered a qualifying medical condition under the program. And it simply updates our statute to codify those conditions into our law. So that one should be a no-brainer because they're already legal under the regulatory scheme. And as a legislature, I think it's important to also acknowledge that those are recognized. So it shouldn't be a problem, but I don't know how Senator Hall feels about accepting this friendly amendment.
Senator Hall.
I appreciate the friendliness of the amendment, but we have really tried to stick just with what we have with our stakeholders. We've made those agreements. Not to allow it to go one way or another. Anything that might have some kind of a contentiousness, not that these necessarily do. The other thing is we want to be able to fully go through these and make sure we give it a full hearing in a sense, and we want to do that in summer. And I'm going to, as you know, say that to the rest of your bills too, or amendments.
Thank you, Madam Chair and Senator Hall. I appreciate that. When you mention stakeholders, I think of people who would benefit from the program are part of those stakeholders, not just the people you're talking to, the lobbyists who I have great respect for, and the people in the business of doing this type of work for our medical program. I'm assuming the Department of Health is a stakeholder. I don't know if there's anyone in the audience from the department that could at least tell us what they think this is a friendly amendment, what they would opine about this particular amendment. I don't think we've heard from them, and they are, in fact, managing the program.
And I have Senator Jensen to this point. And Senator Franzen, just to clarify for everyone, in existing law, it says any other medical condition or treatment approved by the Commissioner. And so your amendment would make it easier for the public to read and find, but it's not, this doesn't make it more available, it just makes it clearer. So I just want everybody to understand.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
No matter how you vote on this, it doesn't change what's available. So Senator Jensen to the amendment.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, Senator Franzen, for your amendment. I would speak against the amendment, and this is why I said earlier that if I were to somehow get myself to a point where I could support the bill, I think I'd need something in there to the effect of emergency, which to me would be the seizure portion of the eligible diagnoses. There might be some other ones in here, but certainly glaucoma is not, and those kinds of things. So a word or two could potentially get me where I need to get. But I would also point out that the amendment addresses section 152.22. It happens to address subdivision 14, but previous amendment 10 also included information and a change in subdivision 6. And that was where we included any hemp, and that has already been passed. Now, in the passage of that, what we did was we allowed hemp to be allowed, but we didn't address the definition of medical cannabis as in 1.5 on Amendment A10. Because on 1.5, it identifies medical cannabis to mean any species of the genus cannabis plant, which at that point in time opens the door to any CBD product. Because we know that the CBD is the, if you will, the cannabidiol that doesn't have any psychoactive agent, but that is being included in here, and it talks about the liquid, the pills, and the oils. So I think that the way it sits, it's not ready for prime time. So I speak against the amendment on this one, but I'll certainly listen to any amendments seriously.
Further to the amendment?
Madam Chair, and I do intend, well, if Senator
Senator
Marty
Marty.
has a
Yeah,
concern.
Madam Chair, Senator Jensen, I mean, you were talking about existing law. That's existing. The first 9 of these conditions are existing. The last 3 that she's adding, the last 4 that she's adding are already existing law. I just think we ought to, this strikes me as a technical amendment to clarify.
Senator Jensen?
Madam Chair, thank you, and thank you, Senator Marty. In light of the conversation that previous bills have prompted in regards to this topic matter, the present bill indicating that THC products can be brought to the school district on school ground property, in fact, mandating that schools create that. The only way I could support that bill would be if I thought it was an emergency and we needed a dosing frequency that was going to, by necessity, include school hours. So if we're at 3 times a day, maybe 4 times a day for sure. But I couldn't do this, Senator Hall, with these. There would be no way that I could support the idea of demanding that school districts make way and make opportunity so someone can take THC for glaucoma.
Okay. I have Senator Abeler next on my list to the A2 amendment.
The A2, and I had something about the whole bill. So, Senator Hall, this is I really didn't understand why this bill was controversial in the first place. The whole thing seemed common sense to me about why would a sick kid not get to get something in his school? My child, seizures are a big deal. Let's just leave it at that. And so, if I know it's nice to have clean bills, this bill is going to a couple of more committees. And I think that to this amendment, this just cleans up the law to clarify what the law is. And so, I mean, I would suggest that you pick your fights on what you care about. There might be an amendment to take out the school thing. I would be against that and argue vigorously against that. But this one, I'm just going to suggest that it's just kind of, it's current law. So just maybe, I would be intending to vote for it, but I just would encourage you just to maybe think it's more friendly than it is, than you think it is.
Senator Draheim.
Thank you. I just had a couple questions, I guess, and I don't know if Senator Hall can answer it.
To the A2?
Yes. First, intractable pain. Do we have a definition of what that is?
And Senator Draheim, intractable pain broadly, and not that I want to get doctors involved, but it is after you have exhausted all FDA approved, I think is the standard that we set for it, and it couldn't be resolved.
And I have one more quick question, if I could, Chair.
Yes, Senator Draheim.
Currently, and I don't know if maybe Senator Nelson would know the answer to this, can a doctor prescribe any other medicine and have it administered at school?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Madam Chair?
Actually, we're going to keep moving on. We have Senator Hall to the question so far.
If I could say, I was told when I came into here that even if I think I'm not going to have any amendments, we'll see when you get in there. I'd like to accept that as a friendly amendment.
Okay, yay. I'm sorry. Okay, to the A2, any further questions? Senator Kiffmeyer.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to clear something up. You cannot compare this medical cannabis to any other medicine, and here's the reason why. All other medicines have gone through FDA, significant research, years of use, and and so when you're equating those kinds of things as though they were somehow equal, I don't believe that is the case. And it was one of those things that I felt, we've just labeled it medical cannabis and done this by dictate of statute. And the other thing is that I object to the line 1.28, any other medical condition or its treatment approved by the commissioner, which does not go through the legislature, which is just done strictly by fiat of the commissioner. And so I do think that we have issues going on here that you start adding this amendment, now you're getting things, you're introducing other kinds of subjects and other issues that make this bill even more weighty and more difficult.
Madam Chair, can I respond to that?
Okay, Senator Franzen.
That's existing law, Senator Kiffmeyer, Madam Chair and Senator Kiffmeyer. So it's not underlined, so that's existing law. Right now, the department, the commissioner goes through their process, whatever that is, because it's not set in statute. And they have, well, if you go to their website, there is a process to petition. So, but it's current law.
I don't care whether it's current law or not current law. I didn't agree with it when it was put in place as current law, and I'm not going to like it now just because it's current law. I mean, that's what we're here in the legislature for all the time, is often to amend, change current law or add to it. So that doesn't make any difference. It's still something that is here.
Okay, Senator Nelson.
I was just going to address Senator Draheim's question, but we're so short on time. Let me just state that there are a lot of protocols in place in schools for any kind of medication, even something as innocuous as an EpiPen. So this is why this bill needs to go to education.
And Senator Rosen to the A2.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. And I appreciate that because, Senator Hall, I was going to vote for your bill. And now we have gone so far adrift on your bill. We've added hemp. We've got a whole bunch of other amendments we're going to add on. We don't have the time for this conversation. This is a very serious conversation. And that's how we got into this mess, as Senator Kiffmeyer said, allowing the commissioner to approve of whatever he wants for medical cannabis. So this is a conversation we need a couple hours on. But right now, as it stands, I have some serious questions, and it's not to the A2, but on the finances of this, why it's so expensive. Why is medical cannabis so expensive in this state? And the bill itself is so expensive. But to the A2 amendment, if this goes on, and you said it was a friendly amendment, I'm going to have to vote no against your bill. I'm sorry.
Okay, members seeing no further comments, we are to the A2 amendment. Senator Franzen.
I have no further comments.
Okay, Senator Franzen moves the A2 amendment. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Request a roll call, Madam Chair.
I had already called for the vote. I think the appropriate motion would be to request a division.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would request a division.
So all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed?
No.
Okay, and now I'm calling for division. So all those in favor say aye. Raise your hand if you're in favor. 1, 2, okay, you can. And all those opposed, raise your right hand. On the division, there were 7 ayes and 5 nays, so the amendment is adopted.